I've seen a lot of Pokemon fan games in my time as a Pokemon fan and a creator, but I have never seen something as unique as this one. Recently, over on Twitch, I streamed Pokemon Potassium, a fun-filled Pokemon experience with lots of diverse mon designs, characters, a great OST, and, for what it is, a pretty interesting plot. Meet Tasty Kenter. His dream is to create his own Pokemon fan game, and he needs your help. And no, I am not kidding, because the title of his project is Chat Makes a Pokemon Game. And for the last year or so, that's exactly what has been going on. Everything you're about to see and hear about Pokemon Potassium comes from an individual in Tasty's community. The mons, characters, gameplay, plot, etc. In this vid, I'm gonna cover the plot in a simplified way without spoiling it, as well as cover things I loved about Pokemon Potassium. And hopefully it gets you excited to go check it out for yourself and to have your voice be heard in this project. But before we start, I have to do my own self-promotions. Luna's World. If you like to relax with lo-fi music, Luna's World's the place for you. I will leave that in the description below. But with that, let's get started. So, Pokemon Potassium is set in the region of Banerica, a region with some American inspiration, mainly Florida from what it seems like. You, the player, start off in a quiet little town called Bongoy, where the last of the natives live. The natives of Bongoy Town seem to be the descendants of the original inhabitants of the land, and over the years have slowly started to integrate into regular Banerican society with a bit of tension still left over. This tension mainly comes from Banaga, or what the Banericans call the Banana God. The Banericans call it a myth, but the natives do not see it that way. Bananaga, many years ago, stopped a meteor from hitting Bongoy Town, and since then, the natives from Bongoy have shown the utmost respect to it, even building a statue to commemorate it. Just a second ago though, I mentioned that there was some tension still left over, and that plays into the evil team of the game, Team Light. Team Light is Bongolian, meaning they're natives, and their ultimate goal is to find and awaken Banaga. The key to doing that is collecting Banerium. Banaga used its energy to stop the meteor, turning the energy into an energy substance known as Banerum. And the only way to awaken Banaga is to bring its power back to it. The government is even involved, and there's some corruption afoot in there as well. There's a mixture of both evil and good intentions, but I won't spoil that for you. The plot gets better the more you play it. And speaking of playing, let's hop into the gameplay. Pokemon Potassium is modeled after Gen 3 Pokemon. The graphics, the music, sprites, pretty much the whole package. I love Gen 3, so this was an easy yes for me when it came to wanting to play it. Though the game does have Gen 3 aspects, a taste of modern Pokemon is present with having all 18 types in the game, updated move pools, no modern experience share, and, the best part, the physical special split. Pacing of the game was overall solid, the level curve was pretty good, and the difficulty of the game's important trainers was just enough to give me a challenge. A memorable part of Gen 3 is definitely the puzzles, and Potassium takes puzzles to a whole new level. The puzzles at the first two gyms stumped me pretty hard. You, however, may do better, because I'm just overall really bad at puzzles. Definite skill issue. Funnily enough, Tasty and some of his community struggled too, so I don't feel as bad. There were some minor bugs that I found along the way, but Tasty was able to send me a patch every time I ran into some kind of problem. So even with those, they didn't dampen my experience in the least bit, and it was still an overall fun experience. Now for the real meat and potatoes of the vid, the Pokemon. Pokemon Potassium's goal is to have 150 to 200 fake mons implemented into the games. There are no Terras, Megas, Z-moves, Dynamax / Gigantamax, and no old legendaries. So far, and don't quote me on this, Potassium has close to 100 fake mons implemented, with a taste of pre-evolution baby forms of previously existing Pokemon, regional variants, and even some new evolutions of previously existing Pokemon as well. At this point in time, the game is up to 4 gyms, and there is an abundance of different kinds of mods. But I will say there are a lot of dark types. So I don't think Tasty and crew are gonna be accepting any more dark types anytime soon. Some of the designs that got me the most were definitely the starter Pokemon and a few others. In Potassium, you have the choice of either picking Burpider, Friar, or Whip Splash. I personally picked Burpider because I love grass types, but you can't go wrong with any of these in my opinion. Burpider is based on a bug hamburger, Fryer is based on fries, and Whip Splash is based on a shake. Some of my personal favorites I used on my team were Gellite, a poison fairy type, which looks like a combination of Slurpuff, Hatterene, and Alcremie. Then, my personal favorite of the entire bunch is Blastolisk, a fire type Pokemon. A fire type Reptilianmon is always cool, and it has a super dope ability, which I will just let you experience for yourself. Next, we got the music, and this game definitely does not miss with the tracks. Anywhere from the routes, to the city, even to some specific themes, this game has a lot of bops, and even in some cases, a bit of familiarity to other video games. Each gym leader has their own theme, spanning from a different video game title. My favorite one being this.
Yo, what the fuck? Is this last surprise? No way, that is so cool. Ugh. The Persona references.
If you've played Persona 5, then this should sound familiar. Or, if you're traversing through the forest, this track might sound familiar.
I hear Zelda. And I even hear a little bit of Chrono Trigger in there. A little bit. Yeah, this is a really good song.
I'll bet you hear inspiration from Chrono Trigger and Zelda, huh? The music overall, though, reminds me I am playing a Pokemon game, and it definitely captures that charm that most Pokemon games have. Most of the roots, to be specific. So, I've mentioned that Tasty's community is heavily involved with this project. All the character designs come from the viewer's inspiration, and there are also some cases where the characters are named after community members themselves. As I was playing through Potassium, I had a variety of people from Tasty's community tell me that that's their design, or they helped come up with the name. It's really difficult for me to pick my favorites, because all these characters have their own unique charm about them. But if I did have to pick a few, I would have to say Amaya, Professor Jumpscare, and Declan. Amaya you meet a little later in the game, and she's an inexperienced trainer you have to help traverse a desert. As the game progresses, you learn more about her, and she improves as a trainer as well. Professor Jumpscare is the region's professor, and yeah, his entire gimmick is scaring the player. Tasty's community voted on the name and the concept, and they just rolled with it. I love it. Declan is one of the gym leaders, and he plays a key role in Potassium's story. I love the fact that he isn't just a gym leader, and that we see repetitive cameos with him as he helps the player investigate Team Light and their objectives. These three are just my favorites though. There are more characters similar to these with pretty deep backstories, and for spoilers' sake, I'm just gonna keep it there. But yeah, overall so far, these are my initial thoughts on Pokemon Potassium. The games have a good direction going for them in terms of everything I've mentioned before. It's an adventure filled with a rich story, with the thoughts of Pokemon fans all over the place, giving the game its own sense of individuality. I will definitely come back here at a later date when the game is complete, to give you guys an even deeper review. Plus, I'm sure there are some kinks Tasty and his community want to fix and patch up. The dope thing is, you can get involved. And I have Tasty here to personally tell you guys how to do so. Take it away.
Have you ever wanted to create your own Pokemon game? See your own Fakemon in a game, or your own characters, your own map ideas, and basically anything you could imagine to be in a Gen 3 styled Pokemon game? Well, Chat Makes a Fan Game is calling for you. Our community is calling for you. We have one of the most tight communities you'll find in the Pokemon scene, and the best part is there's always a reason to be involved. Even if you don't have much free time, you can submit your own Fakemon or character and hope it wins one of our votes. If it wins a vote, it'll be inside of the game. If you have free time, you can chat with our community, come up with your own ideas, and watch and interact with everyone in streams as we actually develop this game. You can make your own trainers, give dialogue, and throw your ideas out there, and if our community collectively likes your idea, it'll be inside the game. If you want to, you can help make sprites, music, and more assets for our game to see your awesome art in a Pokemon game that we hope will eventually shake the entire community. On top of that, a demo is released right now for you to play that goes up to the 4th gym, so come check it out. Something important to take note of though, the next Fakemon vote is happening on August 11th. So make sure you join our Discord and submit your Fakemon to the Google form found in there. After that, be ready to attend our Fakemon vote stream happening at 3 p.m. EST August 11th on the Tasty Kinter YouTube channel to cheer on your Fakemon as our chat votes on which ones they want to be in the game. Hi, my name is Tasty Kinter and I've been developing Pokemon Potassium, also known as Chat Makes a Pokemon fan game, for 10 months now. I've met so many awesome people, created so many memories, and I'm fulfilling my dream by collectively building a community where everyone is invited to make a Pokemon game with us. You're invited along this journey. It's a blessing to have one of the great OG PokeTubers invite me onto this video. Huge thanks to Mystic Umbreon, he's a goat. Anyways, I'll see all you guys there.
Well, you guys heard him. Go on over to his channel and go submit some mons. You guys will be able to see some of my mons too if they happen to make it in the game. But with that said, I'll see you guys real soon.